The temple decoration is very Roman, a well-preserved example of the Corinthian order. However, the style of stonework is typically North African, with large vertical blocks supporting smaller horizontals, forming a framework infilled with smaller stones. The capital towers above the forum, to which it is directly connected by 2 flights of steps, but here it lies across the end of the forum, rather than the usual arrangement with the temple facing the forum, as at Ostia or Pompeii. The porticos around the forum were given to the city by another of the leading families of Thugga, the Gabinii. The Marcellum, or market buildings, around the square to the side of the forum were built in AD 54 by Marcus Licinius Rufus. Little remains of this, and the basilica and other buildings of the forum have not survived, because they were demolished and their stones reused to build a Byzantine fortress over the forum in the 6th and 7th centuries AD. On the east side of the city lies the heavily restored theatre of Thugga. It gives a good impression of a theatre building, both the stage and the seating. The seating was divided into different areas by barriers and stairways and could be entered from the top or the sides. The stage was separated from the seating by a low wall with alternating semicircular and square niches and 2 sets of stairs. The stage had the traditional 5 entrances, 1 on either side and 3 in the back wall. It was richly decorated with marble columns and articulated with a deep central semicircular niche and square niches to either side. Written across the frieze of the stage building, a long inscription commemorates the donation of the theatre by Publius Marcius Quadratus in 168-9 AD. A member of the same family who gave the city its capital temple. The inscription tells that he built the theatre with curtains and decorations on the occasion of his becoming flamen for life, one of the most important city priesthoods. He paid for these with his own money. He also arranged theatrical games and provided gifts and celebrations for the people. Overall, the inscription above the stage celebrates Publius Marcius's status and honours, and records his generosity towards the city. The theatre has his identity stamped upon it, and it serves as an indication of his wealth and power. Not only was the theatre a place for dramatic productions and spectacles, but it was also a venue for display by the elite of Thugga, for the theatre itself was used as a setting for statues of prominent citizens. The statues would have been placed within the seating of the theatre, as this surviving fragment of statue base shows. This base has been repositioned to the side of the stage. It honours Marcius Pacius Silvanus. And again we find a reference to the family Gabinii, responsible for building the forum portico. Amongst other things, such inscriptions also tell us about the social and political organisation. Here we have a pagus of Roman citizens and a native civitas in the city of Thugga. These 2 groups lived together in the city, but had different legal rights and forms of local government, with the traditions of the civitas persisting from the pre-Roman period. These two communities were united in AD 205 when the city was granted the title of Municipium. They set up this arch to honour the Emperor Septimius Severus. Later in the same century, another arch was set up on the other side of the city to thank the Emperor Severus Alexander for granting tax privileges. In 261 AD, the city received the status of colony. Beyond the arch is a large temple complex dedicated to Caelestis, the Roman goddess who had the attributes and powers of the pre-Roman Punic goddess Tanit. At the entrance to the temple is a bath for ritual purification before entering. The temple sits on a high podium and has plain columns with Corinthian capitals running around all four sides, and originally enclosing the cella of the temple. It's a common design, but the semicircular enclosure is unique, perhaps connected with the symbol of Caelestis, a crescent moon. Around this enclosure ran a colonnade, upon which was an inscription commemorating the dedication of the temple to the goddess Caelestis. It cost 30,000 sestertii. And was paid for by Quintius Gabinius Felix Beatianus. There are numerous other temples in the city. This ruined temple on a high podium, set in a rectangular colonnaded enclosure, was dedicated to the goddess Minerva. And this temple, dedicated to the Roman god Saturn, has a similar enclosure with 3 cult rooms set across a short side. Set on the hillside at the outer limits of the city, it's built over the African temple of Baal, and is an example of Roman cults taking over the features of original African religions.